Thank you, Co-Chair Cohen, the members of the Commission, the witness. Many of you know me as the winner of the presidential elections, but primarily I'm the wife of political prisoner. Today I speak on behalf of millions of Belarusians held hostages by the Lukashenko's illegitimate regime. The regime is still taking revenge on our people for our peaceful uprising in 2020, for our desire to live in democracy and freedom. Since then, our country, Belarus, increasingly resembles a huge prison, whilst the prisons have become torture chambers. Human rights defenders know the names at least 1,500 political prisoners. In the US, that would be the equivalent to 45,000. Every single day, 15-20 people are being detained on trumped-up charges. Liking a post on Instagram, wearing socks of wrong color, singing Ukrainian song, or even speaking the Belarusian language, all of this can land you in jail. Their only goal is to terrify people and suppress our will for resistance. Many are imprisoned not for what they did, but what they might do. George Orwell found the perfect term for that: thought crime. Many arrests are based on denouncements, like in Stalin's time. Recently, Belarusian cyber partisans hacked the KGB database and leaked 9,000 emails sent by KGB informants. It's horrible to see such penetration by state police in all spheres of life. And when you are in the hands of the KGB, your chance of getting released is close to zero. They would record a confessional video where you plead guilty for crimes you have never committed. The KGB put these videos on YouTube as advertisements to seed fear and feeling of hopelessness. The regime is trying either to break you or force you to collaborate. Remember Roman Protasevich, journalist kidnapped for a commercial plane forced to land in Minsk? He started to collaborate with the regime, appeared on a TV, praised the dictator, and denounced his friends. People behind bars are totally isolated. Maybe once a day they can see the sky during a short walk in the prison yard. They are deprived of medical, legal aid, or communication with the world. It took months for some to know that the war in Ukraine had ever begun. What this evil system is doing to our loved ones has a name, and it's called torture. There is another form of torture for them and their families, incommunicado. It's when political prisoners don't receive a single word from their relatives. Most mothers can live a day without calling and checking how the child is, but parents of political prisoners don't have this luxury. For more than a year now, I haven't heard anything from my husband, who was sentenced to 19 years in prison, and I don't even know if he's alive. Our son and daughter continue writing him letters and never get any answers. The only information we have received are anonymous messages with hopefully fake news about his death. And this is happening to many. Radio Free Europe journalist Igor Losik, lawyer Maxim Znak, my friend Maria Kolesnikova, former presidential hopeful Viktor Babarika, politician Mikolai Statkevich, and historian Vladimir Gundar. They were sentenced to 15, 10, 11, 14, and 20 years in prison. At least another 250 political prisoners are in mortal danger. 6 have already died. We compiled a humanitarian list. This list includes 16 people with disabilities, 91 with serious illnesses, 65 senior citizens, 10 people with mental disorders, 23 minors. At least 5 families have both parents in prison. All of them must be released immediately. More than 1,600 people have already served their terms. They need rehabilitation, relocation to safe countries. Last month, together with Norway, we launched the humanitarian fund to support Belarusian political prisoners, and I hope the United States will contribute as well. The regime also hunts those who manage to flee Belarus. Today, a Serbian court decided to extradite an activist, Andrei Gnot, on the request of Belarus regime sent through Interpol. We mustn't allow this to happen. And I hope the United States will take a strong stance to protect not only Andrei, but all Belarusians who found a safe haven in the United States and all over the world. Political prisoners are not only a political issue, but also humanitarian. I ask the US to support our call to the UN General Secretary to provide access to those behind bars, give them medical and legal assistance. Put pressure on the regime to release political prisoners. Increase assistance to Belarusian civil society, human rights defenders, and families of the repressed. We must bring perpetrators to justice. Judges, prosecutors, administrators of colonies, propagandists, Lukashenko and all his cronies. They must know that every crime will be documented and prosecuted. Adopt the Belarus Democracy Act, which has been introduced to the House and Senate. Appoint a special envoy to Belarus. We need the voice of the US government keeping Belarus high on the agenda. Belarusians need US leadership to help release political prisoners. In the end, I want to thank the US Congress, State Department, and the White House for your consistent solidarity and assistance. In the last few days, I had many powerful meetings here in DC, and I know that you are on our side. Thank you.